is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman, call me Doki Doki, call me the journalist.
Hello there, and thanks for joining us on this week's edition of 360 Degrees. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine, and welcome to join us. Only 18% of Cameroonians have access to internet as of 2016 statistics. This is even lower than the over 27% access to internet in Africa. Experts in this sector say that it might increase to 55% by 2020. In the course of this program, we shall be looking at the impact of all this on e-commerce and m-commerce in Cameroon. This will be yours in the course of this program, looking at the consequences this will have on tourism especially and on trade. Welcome to join us.
My name is Wams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman.
With me in the studio to discuss these talking points in the course of this program is a group of carefully selected gentlemen. To my left is Tom Urier. He's the country manager of Jumia Travel Cameroon. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. He has been in Cameroon for 4 months now. He took office after coming in from France. Good morning, Mr. Tom Urier, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Side by side with him, we shall be talking with an entrepreneur, an entertainment entrepreneur in the person of Katie Rap Patron. Good morning, Katie, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir.
It's always a pleasure having you guys.
Thank you.
Energetic gentlemen in the studios to handle these talking points. For you at home, you can join us on 676-335224. Quite interesting topics that we're going to be discussing on 676-335224. Welcome. Today, gentlemen, we are looking at the impact of internet and the use of cell phones in Africa and Cameroon, especially to promote e-commerce and m-commerce. For those of you who want to understand, e-commerce is electronic trade and m-commerce is mobile trade. I turn to you. You are country manager for Jumia Travel. You've been in the country for 4 months. Let's start with practical questions. You were sent to Cameroon. I'm sure you must have knowledge about the culture of the people. Internet access in Cameroon is just barely over 18%. Do you think it's going to enhance your business?
So I think there is two main points. First, you said the internet penetration rate is 18% here, while it's 27% for Africa, and in Kenya, for example, it goes up to 74%, 52% in Nigeria. So in Cameroon, it's pretty low. But there is a second thing, is that here, most of the people who have access to internet, they go to check their mail or on Facebook, but they don't really go on Google to make research on our other website.
I think we're going to be coming to what people use internet for. I think it will be very interesting to know. Why do you think the access to internet in Cameroon is pretty low relatively compared to other countries?
I think it's just a matter of time. I'm sure it will develop in the next few years, as it has developed for every country. I think it just may be that it has not been advertised enough, or mobile operators, they've been here for a long time, but they didn't push it as much as in other countries.
Katie, listening to those statistics, do you think it's reassuring at a time when almost every business is online? You have to get presence online to be able to market your music, for example. You are an entertainment entrepreneur. What do you make of these statistics?
Yeah, it's true. To succeed right now in the entertainment industry, you need to be online. You need to be able to promote your music online or your product. So yes, internet right now is very important. It's true that the people of Cameroon don't understand that yet, especially the aspect where you have to go research. We use them right now for more like WhatsApp and Facebook, social media, but there's more to internet. If you have to Google stuff, you realize that there is more to this than just social media.
Now, technology is constantly advancing. Maybe a decade before now, Cameroon used to have just what we call basic phones. and it moved from there to feature phones and now what we call smartphones. I want us to look at the direct impact the advent of smartphones especially is having on trade especially. Your business solely depends on the internet, and we want to understand maybe statistics on how many Cameroonians use maybe desktop or smartphones to access to book hotels online or to make reservations.
Yes. So we have two figures. First, approximately 30% of the people who go on Jumia travel website goes with their laptop, and 70% with their cell phone or smartphone. But when they book, it's 50-50. So a lot of people, they just look for the hotels or for the flights on their smartphone, and then they go on their laptop to book, because maybe they think it's more convenient to book on a laptop. But we think that this proportion will increase, that always more people will book with their smartphone, because we can see that today mobile operators such as MTN, Orange, always invest more for internet in the smartphone, and a lot of people that have a laptop use it for work. But with smartphone you can go to internet even if you don't need to have internet to work. So more for leisure reasons.
Okay, so now looking at the use of smartphones, what do people exactly, especially on Jumia Travel, do they use your smartphones more to do hotel reservations or to buy air tickets? What exactly? And I want us to have statistics on the sociology of the people who book on your site, for example. Is it many more men than women? What exactly do they use your cell phone, their smartphones and internet connection to do with?
It's mostly men. Approximately 60% are men and 40% are women. Okay. Then it's mostly young people, like between 20 and 40 years old, because of course they're more used to internet. But what we see is that when somebody books on Jumia Travel, whatever his age or gender is, he or she will come back, because we have very attractive price and it's very convenient and very easy. So the people that we reach are mostly men and young, but when somebody comes, he always come back.
1N Entertainment is true, it's a brainchild, but you've been in this business for quite some time now. You've been working on the ground before moving your business to maybe online platforms. What is in the nearest future? What can we see 1N getting into in terms of incorporating new technologies and marketing of music and all that?
1N Entertainment, being a baby company, I must say that, has plans of evolving, especially with marketing and promotion. For that to happen, we need to understand the basics of internet technology. So we plan on creating forums online that will permit sales of our products. Could it be audio or visuals of what we do? Especially in the music business now, the world has become a global village. Everybody could get to Kenya just through the internet. So I need to be able to put the music out here and have people in America listen to the same music, put them out, and it's just the same plan.
How advantageous is it for someone to book a hotel using Jumia or online than going directly on site to book a hotel or maybe buy an air ticket? Because I'm sure Cameroonians want to use this service and understand how it works.
First, because you have the choice and you know what you book. If you go directly on site, you cannot check all the hotels of Yaoundé by going in each of them to check if the quality is good. Online, you have the website, you tap Yaoundé, and you have all the hotels that appears, and you can easily compare them. You can have reviews from former clients, so you can trust them or not, but what people think about this hotel. So it's a matter of the quality of the hotel. Then you have all the pictures, all the locations, so you have a lot of information that you can find very, very easily. The second point is the price, because we already negotiate price with hotels, So when you book on Jumia Travel, you don't have to go to the hotel and negotiate again. It's already negotiated and you already have the best price. That's the two main qualities of our website and the two main reasons why people are booking on it.
So, yes, price is of course very capital. Can you be very any specific? For example, if I want to check in a hotel in Yaoundé, for example, or in Douala, and sometimes we're scared maybe a 4-star hotel might be very costly. I want you to be very specific in terms of price. Cite an example like this is what you would save by booking maybe on using your smartphone or on Jumia Travel. This is what you would save in terms of price, because especially if you have to understand the sociology of and the sociology and the financial, the spending power of Cameroonians, they are more interested in what they are going to save in every business transaction. I want you to be very specific as far as that is concerned.
Okay, for example, for a famous 3-star hotel in Douala, which comes from an international chain, we have almost 40% of reduction. We have reduction with almost every hotel. For example, the famous 5-star hotel in Yaoundé, we get also 40% of reduction if you compare with the price you can get at the hotel or on other websites. And then we have very, very cheap hotels. You can have hotels from 4,000. You can have hotel with more than 70% reduction.
So tell us, because this must only come through partnerships.
Yes.
What's your role? On your role, how many hotels have you already had partnerships with in Cameroon? What's the level of collaboration? Have there been times when a client maybe books a hotel on Jumia Travel and then goes on site and discovers something else, and then he's disappointed and then comes back and says, "I want reimbursement"? How do you handle situations like that?
We have approximately 750 hotels here in Cameroon and 30,000 in Africa. So what we do is that we visit most of these hotels. I mean, we have visited all of these hotels, of course, but when a hotel works well, when we know it's a good hotel, we do everything to push it. Which means that, for example, if there is a very good hotel with a very good price in Douala, when people will type Douala in our website, the hotel will appear first. So because we want to show and to push the hotels that are the best, and that offers a very good quality-price ratio. So that's mainly how we advertise the best hotels, but then what we also do is that we always give advice to the hotels, because we have an expertise by visiting all the hotels, so we know what is good and what is not very good. So what we can do is that to help the hotels to improve their quality, to improve the way they serve the clients.
Yes, if you just join, you're on to 360 degrees, and we're looking at the e-trade, how internet is influencing business in Cameroon from all its spheres. But our special focus today is looking at how it's impacting tourism and trade especially. So you can join us at this very first part of the program to tell us what do you think, what is your most favorite tourist site in Cameroon? We are going to be coming in the course of this program to talk about. I was so disappointed when I realized that Cameroon has such enormous tourist potential, which is so underexploited, and most of the time the tourists that come into Cameroon, the people that visit tourist destinations are not Cameroonians. It was so disheartening. Katie, you want to come in here? He's talking about solutions that they are providing to maybe even small enterprises. Perhaps you have an event in Yaoundé. One end is organizing an event in Yaoundé. You need to be lodged. Instead of going on site to book your hotel, it could be possible for you to maybe get a 40% discount. Tell us, you have an event coming up, you're launching one, and this should be today in Boya.
Yes.
First of all, what is One N all about, One N Entertainment?
One N Entertainment is a company. It's an entertainment company which incorporates a modeling agency, a dance academy, and a record label. Well, we in due course, we intend to add filmmaking. So we are starting from a small base where we could control before we get to that place. Well, we are launching today at Residence Carlos, Hotel Residence Carlos in Boya. It starts from 5 p.m. So we are trying to bring our investors, prospective investors, stakeholders, and friends, to one place and tell them this is what we have to offer. We need your support to get there. That's basically it.
You're setting up a business in entertainment, looking at statistics and performance of Cameroon in that domain. One would think that it's a very risky zone to go into.
True.
What's giving you the zeal to want to push into that?
True. It could be said to be risky, okay, based on the current situation of the entertainment industry. But we have revised a means that we believe that could take us to the next level. When I talk of next level, I mean the level where most of the young guys today, young entertainers want to be at. We look at the Akons in Africa, for example. We look at the P-Squares and stuff. So we have revised the means, be it through promotion, advertising, and publicity, that we think, if well integrated, could get us to the next level.
And of course, we shall be continuing in this program. Tell us on 676335224 the tourist destination in Cameroon that you ever visited, and how did you get to know about it? On 676335224, you tell us a tourist destination in Cameroon that you ever visited and how you got to know about it. We shall be right back after this transition.
My name is Rams, Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman.
Welcome back. We are looking at the tourism sector and how internet and internet access in Cameroon is actually influencing that sector. Tom Ure, you are the country manager of Jumia Travel in Cameroon. We have Cameroon, according to the World Tourism Organization, Cameroon has such an enormous tourist potential, but only slightly more than 10% is being exploited. What explains that according to you?
Okay, so first there is approximately 800 touristic sites in Cameroon. That's huge. And 2 of them are World UNESCO Heritage sites. So there's a huge potential, as you said. But the main problem is that a lot of people in Cameroon, they don't know about these sites because there is a lack of marketing and advertisement about these sites. Also, I think that a lot of people consider that tourism is not for them, because they think it's too expensive, or they think it's not for them. I will give you a small example. There is the Moon Cameroon, just a few kilometers from Douala. One day I asked a friend, do you want to climb the Moon Cameroon with me? He looked at me and said, why? Like, it's not part of the
culture, lifestyle.
Yes, to discover these natural resources. And what we try to do at Jumia Travel is to advertise these different sites, to make people want to go there and to help them to go there and to discover all the beauty that the Cameroon can offer.
In other words, you guys, anyway, you're more of working in an environment that is enabling. I want us to go slow and look at the limiting factors to the growth of the tourism industry in Cameroon. One would say that we have tourist potential, but I think there are other factors that come into play. What are some of the factors that need to be in place for tourist industry to boom? You are from France, you have been to several other countries in the world, countries like Kenya and the others. Yes. They are thriving. Their gross domestic product is seriously relying on the tourism industry. What is it that is in place that we are yet to have in Cameroon?
So first, I would say one of the main problems, but it's not only for tourism, it's the insecurity in the north. Because it was one of the most visited regions in the past, because it's a very, very beautiful one, but today it's difficult. And it's not only difficult for the north, because it gives a bad image of Cameroon, like an image of insecurity, and foreign tourists, they don't want to come because of sometimes the media can say that Cameroon is dangerous. So that's one of the main problems. There is another problem, is the visa restrictions. For example, I would use the example of France. When you want to come to Cameroon for a French citizen, you have to pay 75,000 francs for your visa, for a short stay visa. In a lot of other countries, you don't need to pay a visa. For example, you can go to Senegal without any visa. So that's a question of money and of time. You need 1 day to go to the embassy. So this is one point we could work on to facilitate the foreign tourists to come to visit Cameroon. Then we already discussed a bit about this, but there is the question of marketing and valorization of the national heritage. In this world, I think we need to advertise everything, because if you don't talk about you, nobody will hear you. So I think that we really need to advertise to the world Cameroon. Like, we need to show them how beautiful it is, what you can do in Cameroon. So I think it's very important so people are aware that Cameroon is very beautiful and that they should come here. In Europe, sometimes you have a TV spot from different countries. Like, the countries subsidize advertising and tell French people, come to visit my country. That's something Cameroon could do everywhere in the world.
We are going to be coming to proposals. I want us to elaborate some of the limiting factors to the growth of the sector. Perhaps you also want to mention infrastructure, because it doesn't suffice to have a tourist destination when you don't have roads that can link there. You don't have perhaps trained personnel in hospitality, people that will know how to receive guests. For example, when you land at the Douala International Airport, sometimes it's not the best treatment that you get, even right from the airport. It gives you the impression of the country. I want us to actually elaborate all of these limiting factors.
Yes. Okay, first, there's a lack of infrastructure. So as you said, you have very beautiful sites, but you can't go because there is a lack of roads, for example. You have only approximately 6,000 kilometers of asphalt road, which is pretty small for such a big country, because Cameroon is pretty large. So the first problem is lack of infrastructure. The second one, I would say, is the lack of training of professionals. You don't have enough touristic school or hotels school. I will just give you a very simple example which shows that there's a lack of professionalism in some hotels. I remember with two colleagues, we arrived from Douala to Yaoundé around 11 in the evening. We arrived at the hotel, there was two people at the reception, 2 persons at the reception. And we asked if we can have a bottle of water. And they told us that the kitchen was closed, that they could not give us a bottle of water. So we had to argue for 10 minutes to get a simple bottle of water. That's just an example to show that sometimes it looks like the hotels, they don't realize that they have to serve the guests and to make the guests feel at home, feel comfortable.
So you're talking about lack of trained personnel. I think the media also has a very important role to play as far as this is concerned. Is there bureaucracy maybe in getting documents to set up outfits that can maybe manage tourism? For example, in the Southwest, we have the Mount Fako ecotourism organization that is also there working and trying to enable people come to visit Buea. Are you sure? I'm not sure we have exhausted some of the limiting factors. That said, we shall be looking at proposed solutions. But just before we get to proposed solutions, I turn to you, Katie. I want to find out from you. You're a Cameroonian. You've been here since maybe from birth. Which tourist site in Cameroon have you ever visited? If none, I would like us to be honest. Why? Because I ask myself the question. Sometimes we watch TV and we get excited about Las Vegas, about things that are not around here, whereas we have paradise around here.
Truth be told, nah.
Never.
Probably to the zoo in Limbe. That's it.
Have you been to the zoo in Limbe?
Yeah.
And that was in your school days?
Yeah, back in the day. I don't even remember where it is. I don't even remember.
So I want to understand, I want to find out from you. What is it that is stopping you from, maybe you have vacation, you take your vacation, you want to travel, you want to discover some places in Cameroon that you've never been to. Is it because you don't know about the existing sites? Or is it because of economic, financial reasons? Is it because of it's not your lifestyle? Or what exactly is stopping? And what do you think is stopping most Cameroonians from doing that?
I think it's more like they don't know that some of the sites exist. Now, some people will say, when studying history back in the day, secondary school, some of these things were taught to you. But then growing up, you get to have different priorities. Now, if you have these sites advertised to you like on a daily basis, and then you see improvements, you know, on the touristic sites, you will get interested. You know, something might just prick you someday and be like, well, I need to go out. I need to change my environment. And then, pop, you choose that spot. Now, if I have to go out, I think I'm going to go to Mount Cameroon. Like, it's closest. I've heard stories of it. I need to go there. So that's what pushed me to go there. But advertising touristic sites in Cameroon is really an issue, because if you ask me any other, I don't think I know. I just know we have the zoo in Limbe, man. I don't know nothing else. Come on, Cameroon stuff, like, yeah.
Maybe it could also be because of the spending power of Cameroonians. Perhaps you can barely have money to. An average Cameroonian can barely have money to pay their rent, barely have money to do necessary things. And
I don't think tourism is an expensive adventure. It's not an expensive venture. Tourism is more or less, it's affordable, you know. Especially like talking of Mount Cameroon, what will it cost you to go to Mount Cameroon? You already know you're going to a touristic site that requires you to walk. You just start walking and you get there. Like, you don't spend nothing. The least you could do is carry water from your home and go. Keep drinking and probably buy some more food and eat.
now, tell us your experience, the difference in experience. You've been out of the country in terms of hotel reception and all that. Maybe welcome reception at the airport in Cameroon vis-a-vis other countries.
Yeah, that too is an issue. It's true, we don't have professionally trained staff for customer service. That's the word I was looking for. Customer service. We don't have that kind of staff. We have small schools that are opening nowadays trying to train these people, but the mentality already that Cameroon has is the laissez-faire mentality. The belief that to be nice to you, you need to be nice to me, which is wrong. No, that's not customer service. A customer could really be rude. He could really be rude. That's his mood at the time, but he's paying for your service. He finds himself in that mood. You could change the mood, make him feel good, just by the way you serve him. I remember when I was in Dubai, I had this issue with the Asians. The Asians are so nice. Yes, they are so nice. You go to a restaurant and like, hello sir, 2 for 2 sir, like smiling the whole time. Like, you are angry, you're hungry. Why are you smiling? Like, you know. That's how I felt, but it was cool because they keep you cool, they keep you calm. When you see somebody smiling in front of you, I don't think there's any reason why you should be angry or something. But when he talks about him going to a hotel and they can't give him water at 11, you are a hotel, for God's sakes. 11 is not too late. I think at 4 a.m. I should be able to get water in a hotel where I'm residing. So it's just about them getting proper training and realizing that the customer is always the king. That's it.
We are living at a time when transport is also playing a very integral role in the thriving of the tourism industry. Transportation, not only terrestrial transport, we're also looking at railways. Cameroon recently launched internal flights with its home carrier. The latest was that in Bamenda, within 45 minutes, you can fly to Bamenda and come back at an affordable rate without any publicity for them. How do you think this is going to enhance the tourism industry, looking at maybe internal flights that are very effective?
I really think it will help, but first, Camerco, I think, needs to have a better image, because we all know that sometimes these flights were not flying, so there is some issues. But for me, it's necessary to have a strong national airline to be able to send tourists to other parts of the country very fast. Because let's take an example: if somebody comes from abroad, from another African country or from Europe, just for 1 week, this person would not want to spend 12 hours in a car or more. So I think it's very necessary to have a strong airline, so you can cover most of the destination of the country in like 2 or 3 hours maximum.
Now, looking at where we stand, insecurity, visa restrictions, marketing, training, let's look at where we stand. How can Cameroon do? What can Cameroon do to take its tourist potential from maybe just 10%, maybe to up to 20 or 15? Why not within the next 3 years or so? Because there is a plan by 2020 to actually see tourism contributing to something close to 10% of Cameroon's gross domestic product. What do you think the country has to do in terms of governance, in terms of policy and all that?
First, I will add that there is another problem that we haven't mentioned yet. It's the price. Here, the price to quality ratio is pretty bad regarding hotels. For example, before Jumia Travel, most of the 3-star hotels had the same price than in Europe, and the average salary is way lower here. So it's very difficult to understand why the price is so high. So that's the first point, and we are working for it. It's to reduce the price so everybody can travel.
So it's high here in terms with respect to the service that is offered, or is it comparatively? Are you saying a 3-star hotel in France, for example, it costs lesser in terms of what you pay effectively with not exactly the service with respect to Cameroon, which is much more expensive, and which is much more expensive?
Cameroon, it's much more expensive. For example, sometimes the 3-star hotels in Cameroon and in France will have the same price. But in France, the average salary is higher, so the purchasing power is higher. So here it's a real luxury to go to the hotel. So what we do is we work to reduce this price so everybody can travel. That's the first point, because today a lot of people are saying that hotels are too expensive, so that's not for us. They don't even check the price, it's too expensive. So we really want them to have better price so they can travel everywhere in the country. Then, as you asked me what the country could do
yes,
to attract more tourists and to develop also the local tourism. First, there is the marketing of the Cameroon destination. The government and the Cameroonians, not only the government, they need to show the world that Cameroon is beautiful, that you have beautiful sites, and that everybody should come to visit the country. Because today, Cameroonians who have some money, they will go to Europe, to Dubai, or to the US, Canada, for tourism. But they won't go to the Moon Cameroon, which is like, you can do it in a few days. So that's the first point. We need to advertise and make marketing about this. Then I said there's the problem of price, which now is even more complicated because there is.
I beg to come in here. I want us to be chronological because you won't be marketing a product that is not ready. Maybe perhaps we start from reviewing our infrastructures, making sure that by the time we are marketing, the tourists that are coming in come with a product that is ready. I want us to go, let's try to make it chronological. Okay. You start by maybe preparing your infrastructures, train your personnel to ensure that they are ready to receive those tourists when they come, and then brand, maybe market the tourism industry and ensure security and all that. I want us to make it chronological.
Yes, I understand, but you know, if people don't come, the hotels will not understand that they need to have better standards. So it's difficult to know if we should advertise first or change the infrastructure first, because right now maybe the government doesn't have the budget yet or it's not a priority for them to invest in the tourism industry. But yes, you're right. One of the key points is to train the professional, to have better infrastructure, and we really hope that with the African Nation Cup it will help. We can see that there's some project in the countries such as the roadway between Yaoundé and Douala. That's, I think, very, very important. Yes, and then the question of the training of staff, which is essential. And I don't think it's a lot of work, because as I mentioned before, the question of the water, it's not complicated to train somebody so they can give water to customer at 11. So it's not a big deal, I think. We just need to make a small amount of efforts, and then it will progressively improve.
Yeah, in this sector, is it possible for a country to actually corner maybe a consortium of businesses to say, okay, we have this potential in our country, this is the market, come and develop the tourism industry, invest in this tourism industry, and then maybe yes, make it like a business for somebody. Somebody comes and tries to develop a sector and benefit the market. Has it happened in some other countries you know about?
Yes, sure. Some countries will first you can create some specific law. For example, if you invest in tourism industry, for example, you build an hotel. If you are a foreigner, you can get some fiscal advantages. That's the type of law that you can create to advantage one sector. Then, as I say, you can advertise your country on foreign TV channels. That's something which is really, really important. You can also go to international forum about tourism, so you can try to drain a lot of foreign visitors. So yes, the countries they can do something. And another small example, I guess you know about SEO, search engine optimization. It's the way you work. So your website, if you have a website, will appear first when you make a research on Google. So for example, it's not a complicated thing. I mean, it's technical, but it doesn't cost a lot of money to work on that. The government could work. So when you type Cameroon on Google, you have a lot of good results. They show you beautiful pictures, beautiful articles saying that Cameroon is very nice, instead of a lot of articles about insecurity in the north or things like that. So that's the few things that I think the government and the people can do so they can attract more foreign tourists, but also to develop the local tourism.
Now let's look at Cameroon is going to be hosting the Africa Cup of Nations in 2019. It has been moved from January to June instead, and Cameroon will get into the history books for hosting it, for being the first country to host it in June, and also hosting for the first time 24 countries instead of the usual number that we know. This would mean that there is a lot of effort that has to be put in place to ensure that we host 24 teams coming in from across Africa. And drawing from the experience of other African countries and other countries that have hosted big events like this, and hearing sports stakeholders in the country saying that we are up to the task, and others think that there's a lot to be done. Perhaps you don't have the necessary expertise in this domain as far as sports is concerned, but exactly what is the very simple approach to go about this? Okay, we need roads, we need stadia like they're constructing, we need to train personnel. This is surely going to be big business for you. What exactly is Jumia Travel working on to kind of get all those customers that are coming, to place them in hotels, make sure that they book their tickets online through your platform?
What we do in order that this event goes well is first we personally train hotels. So in the hotels that we know people coming from the African Nation Cup will stay in, we try to work with them so they understand how to manage such a big event, how to manage a lot of people in the hotel. So that's the most important thing. But then the other stuff we cannot really, as Jumia Travel, it's difficult to work on. For example, the infrastructure, except to like raise the problem in TV show like this one. We can't really do something because it's the government who decides, and of course he's aware of this problem. So I think I think that it's the work of the government first.
So are you, in other words, are you saying that Jumia Travel is not only there to make business, but it's also there to impart expertise? Because a businessman will just wake up and it's like, okay, hotels pay, let me build my hotel, without necessarily thinking about the rules of the game. Is Jumia Travel also involved in maybe giving counsel to hotels that we get those clients for you, we know their mindset, we want to let you be able to read their mindset through us? You organize seminars or workshops or something sometimes to kind of bridge the gap?
We don't organize workshop with a lot of hotels at the same time. But what we do is that we regularly visit the hotels, and we give them advice. We show them good example and bad example of what they could do. For example, again, the example of the bottle of water. The day after, I met the director of the hotel and explained her that it's really important that you give the water at the guests when they arrive at 11. So we train in face-to-face the hotels so they can understand better what they need to do to have the best customer service as possible.
Now let's look at tourism legislation in Cameroon. I'm sure you have acquainted yourself with the tourism laws in Cameroon. What is it that you're not comfortable as far as tourism laws in Cameroon are concerned?
One of the main concern actually is since the beginning of the year there is a new tax which depends on the number of stars of the hotels. And the problem is that a lot of people, they don't know about this tax. So when they arrive at the hotel and the hotel says, okay, you need to pay 2,000 more for the tourist tax. The customers are saying that the hotel is just trying to get more money. So it gives a bad image of the hotels, but it's just that it's a tax. So I think that's one of the main problem actually with currently with the legislation.
So who attributes stars to hotels? Because one would think that I could just build my hotel, for example. I go to the Ministry of Tourism and I'm like, okay, since you make more money if I'm a 3-star hotel or I'm a 4-star hotel, and then just give me this attribute. What is it that we consider to say, okay, this is an inn, this is a motel, this is a 1-star hotel, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star? I want you to explain to the public so that we very much kind of understand. What do we expect? What should we expect from a 1-star hotel, from a 2-star hotel, 3-star, 4-star, and all that?
Yes. So to get the stars, you need to ask the specific organism of the government to be checked by this organism, so they can give you the number of stars according to your standards. So you have a lot of criteria to get 5 stars, for example, some other ones to get 4 stars. But some hotels, they do not ask for it. And sometimes they can get, let's say, 3 stars this year, but in 5 years, the hotel won't be the same. But they still get their 3 stars. That's why we think that with internet, because people are always going to the hotels and they put review, they rate your hotel. So then you know what the people think about this hotel. And sometimes you can see that, for example, a 2-star will be rated 9 out of 10, but 3 stars 4 out of 10. So the 2-star will be better than the 3 stars. So it's a pretty complex thing, because in order to be extremely clear and extremely representative of the situation, you should check the hotel every year to check if they still deserve their number of stars. But it's costly, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, so that's pretty complicated.
And so I'll be coming back to you. KT Rap, 1N is going to be launched today in Buea. What is it, we know about different record labels in Cameroon, what is it that 1N is going to be coming, what is that unique selling proposition you're bringing to this industry?
First of all, I would like to precise that 1N is trying to put in more energy on the record label, the modeling agency, and the dance academy for now. The reason why we are doing that is because we have carefully checked the market both locally and internationally. We've succeeded to cup a few partners and endorsements that will help us propel our arts. Now, 1N is bringing a different flair, especially with the amount of artists that we've signed. We've signed 5 artists already. Yeah, we have Brinoman, who is going to be launching his official video today at the launch. We have Rhyme Killer, we have Okuno, we have Armixi, and myself. So I'm also an artist. So these guys are all diversified. There's the rapper who sound like purely Eminem or Rick Ross, or that's the Rhyme Killer guy. They have the dancehall artist, Bruno Man, he's amazing. The guy will give you something really, the flair, the dance flair is amazing. So then we have the real Afro guy, Armixi. Crazy, but down to earth. Then we have Okuno. That is the height of Afro rap. Now these guys are here to give a different type of flair. Now the error in Cameroon, or let me not say error, the problem we are facing now is diversity. We are all always trying to sound like probably our neighboring countries or those are idols. It's never wrong to have an idol. I'm not saying that, but we are trying to live beyond idolizing somebody. You know, it's good to start having an idol. Like back to Jumia Travel, I could love Jumia Travel a lot, but if I want to have something like Jumia Travel, I will start by doing something that Jumia Travel has, then evolve. That's the importance. So we have succeeded to say, okay, we have this artist. We are planning to evolve, change the scenario of music in Cameroon, the scenario of modeling in Cameroon, and the scenario of dancing in Cameroon. That's our plan. It's that simple.
You off mic, you were telling me about some new form of is it a genre of music you came up with? Is it tradi trap or something?
Yes, the tradi trap movement. Shout out to Bruno Man. Is a movement that was created by Bruno Man. He's our producer too. So Bruno Man Speedy Bomb is a very inspired producer. He does a lot of crazy instrumentals, you know, from hip hop to Afro to Jamaican to jazz, you know. But he came up with something. The mixture of all these instrumentals he's used to made him come up with something he named the tradi trap. You know, it's more like a traditional music into hip hop, into Afro pop. You know, it's crazy but amazing. That's the idea. So he did that and he named it the tradi trap movement. One Entertainment is planning on developing this movement in due course. So you have more on tradi trap movements from all the records you'll see coming out of One Entertainment.
And so, then to you, Tom, you guys at some point, Jumia actually came up with an app that people could easily use to access your services. Perhaps Traditap will also be thinking of getting an app. How successful have you been with the app with respect to, do people easily use your app, or they prefer to go directly on the internet on their own and do their bookings? How did it work out for you? Perhaps it's going to be drawing some inspiration from there.
I would say that right now, most of the people, they continue to go on the internet, like directly on the website. But as we improve the application, now it's way faster than the website. It's growing. The number of download is growing, but right now it's still the website who drain the most traffic.
We're gradually wrapping off this edition of 360 Degrees. One last message you want to send out to the public, your different partners and all that. What is it you're going to be telling them?
I would say that I already say that we try to reduce the price and to democratize the travel so everybody can travel. So what we would like to do is to give a promo code to everybody who is listening to us. So with the promo code TRAVEL5K, you can have 5,000 of reduction on every hotel in the Cameroon till the end of the month.
And Casey, we are going to be in Boya to witness the launch of 1N. What message do you have for fans and potential partners?
I want to say the 21st of July 2017, it's going to be an amazing day. Today we are making history. We are starting 1N Entertainment officially, and I would like to invite my brother here, you know, the Jumia Travel Manager of Cameroon. It's going to be a great deal. We are here to change the game. We are here to bring flair into music. I just want to call on every fan, every prospective investor, every stakeholder in this industry that I know and I don't know. Shout out to you and welcome to 1N Entertainment.
Always a pleasure having you on 360 Degrees. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Us. And of course, thank you for watching. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine. Join us next week for what would have made talking points on 360. If you want to join us and maybe tell us talking points to address, you want to have an event you want us to talk about, why not call us on 676-335224. 676-335-224. Bye bye. My name is ANJIANJEI Constantine signing out from our studios in Douala. See you next time.
Mr. Classic, ladies and gentlemen. Believe Records. Call me the newsman. Call me Doki Doki. Call me the John.